discussion on casteism and also a lot of it's not rationalization, but also a lot of literature that talks about. I'm sure you're familiar with this, with the kind of how it became congealed in the society over the years, but it wasn't inflexible necessarily, and it's not what it has become certainly. So I don't think it was really flawed in the way it was conceived, but has probably become more or less a very, very.
I mean, that's the part that we're disagreeing with. We're not, we are seeing what exists in front of us right now. We can only fight what exists in front of us right now.
Right.
And if there are certain problems in our, like Kushal said, we came together, and the reason we get along with each other so well is because we have this very deep-seated love for the civilization, and all three of us want to do whatever we can to preserve it. And in my case specifically, I'm sure the other two will probably agree as well, but in my case specifically, I want to export it. I want to grow it. I want to convert non-Indians into Sanatana Dharma. That's my goal. Before I die, I want to convert at least 500,000 people into Sanatana Dharma.
Wonderful.
So,
cheers to that.
Because I believe that this is a philosophy that people can get a lot of good out of. So that's why we criticize when we see the problems. Whatever problems exist in front of us, fine. Jo pehle tha, that's a little immaterial at this moment. We're just trying to criticize the realities that exist in front of us.
Very true.
Right. And the other thing, of course, is that, what you say is right. It was never even at any given point of time. At every given point of time where you can show me extreme casteism, I can show you a complete counterexample to that. Okay. But the problem is the casteist brigade would take that counterexample as the norm and the casteism to be the exception. Whereas modern Hinduism shows you that it was probably the norm. Yes, we've had Shudra kings. I think one of the Deccan kingdoms were very proud of the fact. I forget which ones. Was it the?
You have the Reddy kings, right? Now Reddys are not necessarily like the Reddy.
No. But you had Shudra kings. One of them, I forget which dynasty, was very, very proud of the fact that they were Shudras. They trumpeted it all over, right? So there's heaps of counterexamples, but that's not the point. The point is that today, if you think that your birth confers on you certain privileges and rights, which is purely a byproduct, I mean, we're all byproducts of copulation. And if you think copulation has conferred certain rights upon you, as opposed to your gunas, your brain, your work ethic, all of that.
You have to, I mean, if you're it's by adhikara. I mean, adhikara doesn't come by birth, it's by your practice, right?
It is by your practice. So it is by the practices you do and the choices that you make. And it is that which determines the value of a human. So in that sense, as much as I do not like the Arya Samajis for a lot of what they did in Punjab, it's one part of the Sikh Hindu split is what the Arya Samajis ended up doing. But, I do believe in going back to that period where your caste was determined by your actions and your choices and your abilities, but also where we've reached an industrial modernity where having that distinction is counterproductive. Because I learned most of problem solving doing hospitality, which parts of hospitality would be considered a Shudra job, like cleaning toilets in 5-star hotels is a Shudra job, right? Cooking may be a Brahmin job because, Brahmin will only eat what a Brahmin cooks, kind of. There's all that crap that goes on there. So I did that entire spectrum, but it teaches you how to problem solve a lot. Not in India, maybe, because in India, you just get the customer to scream. You don't actually solve the customer problems. But in a first world country where labor is very expensive, you are authorized to solve problems. So the management tells you to solve that problem with the customer right there. They empower you to do that. And it was a much easier way of learning problem solving, which then I started applying to everything else. So for me personally, cleaning toilets led to personal growth, right? So how am I meant to ever agree that a toilet cleaner today can't be a person of intellect tomorrow? So that cross-pollination is extremely important. I think in India, we've lost a lot of dignity of labor. We need to bring that dignity of labor back in.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.